In this module, the demand and supply elasticity along with cross-elasticity concepts were covered in details. First, the price elasticity of demand was covered. Price elasticity of demand is equal to percentage change in quantity demanded divided by percentage change in prices, where percentage change in quantity demanded is calculated as Q2 minus Q1 divided by Q1 plus Q2, which is divided by 2,
whole multiplied by 100,
and percentage change in prices is calculated as P2 minus P1 divided by P1 plus P2, which is divided by 2,
whole multiplied by 100.
Price elasticity of demand is equal to Q2 minus Q1 divided by Q1 plus Q2, which is divided by 2,
whole multiplied by 100,
divided by P2 minus P1, which is divided by P1 plus P2, which is divided by 2,
whole multiplied by 100.
Then, the different variations of price elasticity of demand were elaborated. Perfectly inelastic demand, E is equal to 0. There is no impact on quantity demanded for any change in price. Relatively inelastic demand, E less than 1. This is the case when, with a X percentage change in price leads to lesser X percentage change in the quantity demanded. Unitary elastic demand, E is equal to 1. This is the case when, with a X percentage change in price leads to exactly X percentage change in the quantity demanded. Relatively elastic demand, E is greater than 1. This is the case when, with a X percentage change in price leads to greater X percentage change in the quantity demanded. Perfectly elastic demand, E is equal to infinite. This scenario is when even a minimal change in price drastically changes the demand quantities. Then, the factors that affect the price elasticity of demand were discussed. Necessities versus luxuries. Necessities tend to have inelastic demands, whereas luxuries have elastic demands. Availability of close substitutes. Goods with close substitutes tend to have more elastic demand because it is easier to consumers to switch from that good to others. Definition of the market. The elasticity of demand in any market depends on how we draw the boundaries in the market. Narrowly defined markets tend to have more elastic demand than broadly defined markets because it is easier to find close substitutes for narrowly defined goods. Time horizon. Goods tend to have more elastic demand over longer time horizons. Then, the implications of the concept of elasticity on understanding its impact on revenues were considered. Total revenue is equal to price multiplied by quantity. If elasticity is less than 1, then total revenue increases if price increases, or total revenue decreases if price decreases. If elasticity is greater than 1, then total revenue decreases if price increases, or total revenue increases if price decreases. Then, another type of elasticity, viz., that is, income elasticity, was considered. The income elasticity of demand measures how the quantity demanded changes as consumer income changes. The income elasticity is the percentage change in quantity demanded divided by the percentage change in income. 3 categories of goods were considered for measuring this. Normal goods like food and clothing. Higher income raises quantity demanded because quantity demanded and income moves in the same direction. Normal goods have positive income elasticities. Inferior goods, bus rides. Higher income lowers the quantity demanded because quantity demanded and income move in opposite directions. Inferior goods have negative income elasticities. Luxury goods, cars, tend to have positive income elasticities because consumers feel that they can afford these goods if their income increases. Then the concept of cross-price elasticity was discussed. The cross-price elasticity of demand measures how the quantity demanded of one good changes as the price of another good changes. Cross-price elasticity of demand is equal to percentage change in quantity demanded of good 1 divided by percentage change in the price of good 2. Whether the cross-price elasticity is a positive or negative number depends on whether the 2 goods are substitutes or complements. Then the elasticity of supply was considered. Price elasticity of supply is equal to percentage change in quantity supplied divided by percentage change in price. Supply of a good is said to be elastic if the quantity supplied responds substantially to changes in the price. Supply is said to be inelastic if the quantity supplied responds only slightly to changes in the price. Types of price elasticity were then discussed. Perfectly inelastic supply, E is equal to 0. This scenario is when a change in price has no impact on the supply quantities. Relatively inelastic supply, E is less than 1. When a X percentage change in prices leads to lesser X percentage change in quantities supplied. Unitary elastic supply, E is equal to 1. When a X percentage change in prices leads to is equal to X percentage change in quantities supplied. Relatively elastic supply, E is greater than 1. When a X percentage change in prices leads to greater X percentage change in quantities supplied. Perfectly elastic supply, E is equal to infinite. This scenario is when even a minimal change in price drastically changes the supply quantities. The discussion then moved on to determinants of price elasticity of supply. Flexibility. The price elasticity of supply depends on the flexibility of sellers to change the amount of the good they produce. Elasticity is low if the flexibility is low and vice versa. Time period. In most markets, a key determinant of the price elasticity of supply is the time period being considered. Supply is usually more elastic in the long run than in the short run.